All right, what's going on, everyone? My name is Ricky Clay Jr. This is my very first posting of my new vlog entitled Authors Reading Authors, and it's going to be the first episode of my series entitled Authors First. I'll get into that a little bit later. I want to explain RAR right now. Did I just abbreviate that? I did. Neat. I like it. And also, I just want to explain what the basics of Authors Reading Authors vlog is going to be about. I want it to be an open forum for authors reading authors, a little self-explanatory there, but more specifically for authors to be available for, beta reading, because we know that's going to be a difficult task to find people not only that you trust, but people that are within your genre, and then more importantly, people who you feel are going to be efficient enough and productive enough to get back to you and give you something that's going to be beneficial towards your final product. Because let's be honest, finding a beta reader is a daunting task. You can find somebody who you'll feel will be perfect for being a beta reader for your book, and next thing you know, they'll tell you and give you the disclaimer, yeah, I'll be glad to do it, I'm excited to do it, and you're excited that they're excited, and then they'll say, well, it's not really my genre, so I might not be the best person to really give you an honest answer. Really? So after you done put all that information and all that time and excitement into one person, or several people rather, it's probably still not going to be the most productive in what you're going to want from your final product. So hopefully this will open up the field to all genres for coming in, comments, and people who subscribe and trying to feed off of one another, not just for me and my blog post, even though it's entitled under my channel. It can be a whole bunch of different directions. The book that I'm working on right now, called Bagman Blues, is a crime fiction, but it's not the only genre that I'm writing, because the new book that I'm writing goes in a completely different direction. One thing that this channel will not be is another do-it-yourself, how to be this, how to be that type of vlog series. How to be an author, how to write a book, how to get your dry ink pen to write, how not to be a troll while you're sitting in your mama's basement, using your grandma's laptop, stealing your neighbor's unrestricted Wi-Fi. That's not what this is going to be about. Enough of the how-to blogs, enough of the how-to YouTube channels. There's a lot of them out there and a lot of really good ones, so I'm not downing it. I don't think it's all shitty. I'm actually subscribed to quite a few of them, really good ones. So why would I oversaturate the market with another YouTube channel full of 20 how-to videos, each video only having 5 or 10 responses, even that, or maybe 5 or 10 views? No. So yeah, this new series, or this first series of this vlog, is going to be in regards to authors versus artists. And if there's a distinction between the two, how each one of them might approach, working on a new product or a project, or just writing or doing something artistic in general. Doesn't necessarily need to have a plan for the final product itself. Some of us just do it to do it. Perfect example, a friend of mine back when I used to rap, when I used to like lyrics, I used to write like hip hop, it wasn't shitty. We went to go visit one of my friends down in Florida, or was it Atlanta? It was Atlanta, I remember. There were a lot of stripper billboards as we were driving through the state. Atlanta, y'all a bunch of freaks. Yeah, so we went down there to visit my boy. We're all MCs at the time, all lyricists, all dabbled into production. He had the nice studio. We were just going on vacation to visit him. One night we're just sitting around, all artists, respecting and loving our craft, and we just wanted to say, hey, you got a studio here, let's just create something real quick. And me and my boy Adam, he had a notebook, or 2 or 3 notebooks. I had a notebook, 2 or 3 notebooks. Some of the lyrics in our notebooks had titles, some of them didn't. It was done at a whim. And that was one of the things that I noticed with me and Adam. We were kindred spirits on that part. Now, my boy Greg at the time, he was more professional in his craft. Not knocking him for that, not saying that he's not an artist, but he couldn't really see that where me and Adam were coming from as far as just being able to create something. He had to have an end goal in mind. It had to have a title. It had to have a plan. It had to have organization. And sometimes art isn't built like that. And a lot of it is, when you're an artist, especially me, I dabble into it all. I mentioned lyrics. I like to draw. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? I like to make beats. And of course, I like to read. I like to draw. And I like to write, obviously. And I am actually pretty good at each, and I don't apologize for it. You read my blog on Tumblr, you'll understand why. But one of the things I noticed is that as artists, we find art everywhere, and it's a beautiful thing. But it could be a hindrance as well when you're trying to focus on one thing and you have your muse calling you to do something different. And I want to know from people who are listening, or people who visit the blog, or somebody who just wants to find me on another form of social media and talk it out, is, do you feel that being an artist that can dabble into multiple areas and feel the motivation or inspiration strike you at any moment, do you feel that could be a hurdle for you? Do you feel like just calling yourself an author gives you that focus to say, I'm going to write 2 hours today, I'm going to write 2 hours tomorrow, I'm going to write 6 hours on the weekend, whatever it is? Do you feel that gives you more focus calling yourself an author as opposed to an artist that might go in every other direction? And lastly, as far as being an author versus artist, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Something that I noticed is that people will call themselves an author. But yeah, it's because people think it's the cool thing to do, and people will actually sit around and say they're an author because they wrote a blog. Here I am writing a vlog, but it's different. You'll know who I'm talking about when you see them or when you hear them. The people who will say it just because they're waiting to use the words avant-garde. You know, I'm being very still stereotypical and facetious right now, but you know what I'm talking about. They're not honing their craft. They're not thinking about it day in and day out like those of you who I know who are authors, who I know who are artists, and they do it on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, because it consumes them. One of the things I do respect about authors or artists is you're doing it really because you want to do it. There's going to be a long period of time while you're writing, and it's not going to be the most financially stable of situations. And that's an investment that only comes through passion of being an artist for what you do, or appreciating every bit of art that you're putting into it, every bit of love that you're putting into it. So one thing I'll put above everything else in multiple industries, I think finding true authors is a little easier than other artistic fields. Musicians, I think you can find a lot of fraudsters with that in a heartbeat. And people who say they want to do anything else in other forms of art. It's easy to find the fakers, but somebody who has a manuscript and they've been working on it and they cradle it like their baby because it is, there's a lot to be said about that. Feels like that, yeah, we're a part of something different, a fraternity of sorts. And one thing about being an artist that's different is not that you say that you're an artist, is that you appreciate art in multiple areas. And I love that. And I think that's why this authors versus artists series that I'm doing is just going to be able to tell her what molds you fit in and make you appreciate your own work and everybody else's on another level. Once again, this is just my very first vlog of this series. I'm gonna get a lot more in depth, not so sporadic with some of this shit I was talking about, but hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let me know if you think it's better to be labeled as an artist or to be labeled as an author. Or if you think there's no fucking difference at all. Or maybe the fact that you're still actually just tuning into my channel because you see this tall, dark, and handsome, suave man on your screen with a very white voice actually trying to compel you to tune into my channel. And fuck it. Once again, appreciate you all. It's all love. And like I always say, be an artist first, every second of your life. Don't forget to stop by my Tumblr page. Ain't it beautiful? Look at that shit. This is in the early stages. Oh, and just one last thing. I want to give a special shout out to a good friend of mine to keep with the spirit of the whole vlog, authors reading authors, authors helping authors, Mackenzie. She's a very good author, even a better friend, even better person, but she's a great storyteller. If you like stories with, you know, emotional and deep characters, you'll definitely love her work. I encourage every one of my viewers, subscribers, and just passerby to definitely check her out. You can find the new book on Amazon entitled Internal Affairs. And no, this is just not a regular plug because I know her. I read her last book, Wicked Attraction, and it gripped you from the very beginning, from the prologue, letting you know how emotional the book could possibly be, and it didn't stop until the end of the book. I encourage everybody to check it out. And once again, appreciate you checking me out too. Peace.